Un corsaire venu des mers boréales, après avoir œuvré aux côtés du grand marchand des champs de l'Ouest, clin d'œil, et d'illustres pourvoyeurs d'alcool, il rejoint l'équipage du vaisseau amiral de l'immersif Outernet. Aujourd'hui, avec sa compère, il parcourt les mers du monde pour souffler quelques conseils aux marins de l'immersif. J'appelle Joe Russel.
So I'm here today to speak about lessons learned launching a billion-pound entertainment district in London. I have to start with an apology. That's what all English people do, of course. But obviously I'm speaking in English, so thank you for bearing with me for the next 15 minutes. All of us in this room are, in our own ways, pioneers. We all work in this new industry which is exploding around the world. Our research shows that it's looking at 30% growth every year between 2024 and 2028. Or to borrow the analogy of this conference, all of us in our own ways are pirates on the high seas. But there's no guide, there's no textbook, and there's no map to being a pioneer. And everyone will make mistakes. Everyone's boat will hit the rocks at some point. In my career, I've been really lucky to have the space to make mistakes and to learn from them. And in fact, failing and making mistakes has been one of the most valuable tools that I've had available to me in the last 20 years. The key to it, though, is to make those mistakes as quickly as possible and learn as quickly as possible. If you don't learn, what's the point? It's just a mistake. I started my career in agencies, in events, brand experience in 2003 in London, working on big brands like Carling, big beer brand in the UK, in festivals, running in Leeds and various other big music festivals. And other brands as well, Motorola when that was still a thing, Reebok, Nintendo, etc. I then went to Westfield, the shopping centre group, around the time of the financial crash. We did lots of really big events with much success. Our friend Monsieur Bieber is here. We also did some stuff that didn't work quite so well. You can see in the bottom here, we did an event for Dulux, which did not go well. But the best part about that is the business allowed us to make those mistakes and learn from them. We also then, I moved on and did some branded events for brands like Jim Beam. You can see here the launch of one of their products here. Another one up here, which was a real sort of theatrical immersive event. At the time in London, Yumi Bum Bum Train was really exploding. Secret Cinema on a much bigger scale was doing some huge stuff. The immersive industry was just kind of emerging at the time, and it was really a theatrical thing more than it was a technology thing, because the technology had not caught up yet for what people wanted to achieve. By 2020, when COVID hit, the technology had evolved. And so I joined what was actually quite a small team, you can see them there, at a company called Outernet. Has anyone been to London recently and been to Outernet? Great. Okay, a couple of people. Next time you're in London, check it out. It's wild. This is what the architects wanted it to look like, and it ended up looking roughly like that. Outernet at its core, or the original idea, was conceived as a mixed-use commercial development. Offices, retail, there's a hotel, there are 2 live music venues and a 3rd one coming soon. But at its core is an advertising proposition. It's an advertising platform. And that's everything from what I would call straightforward out-of-home media on the outside of the building. I'll show you some examples in a second. But much more interestingly than that, 5 immersive screen spaces of various different sizes, all LED screens. So the big space you can see here is a 16K digital canvas, and other spaces as well. Brands were therefore enabled to come in and do immersive experiences for consumers. Our job was to kind of shape the proposition, both for those brands, but also for the public to come and have a look. So these are free spaces. You don't have to pay to get in. And so really what we did was we sort of borrowed the big tech model of free eyeballs, free attention, and then we would sell advertising time either side of content that we'd had commissioned. This film probably explains it better than I have.
We are here to launch Paramount Plus in the UK and beyond.
A fair amount of ass kicking, so everyone's going to be satisfied.
Let's go.
And it works. In 2023, its first year of operation, it welcomed 6 million or more than 6 million visitors, becoming the most visited tourist attraction in London. It did £14 million in net revenue from a standing start. And it worked or sold advertising time to 10 of the 20 biggest brands in the world. So what did we learn? I would say there were some key lessons, as everyone would expect. We didn't have a rule book. We had a new canvas, a new format to invent. And so we needed to position the overall proposition to the public and to its brand partners. We did that by borrowing the cultural heritage of Denmark Street. If anyone's been there to Denmark Street, you'll know it has a very rich history of musical culture. The Sex Pistols lived there and recorded there, Elton John, the Stones. And so we took that heritage and we borrowed it and we started talking about music. That was our first step. And then we widened that to talk much more about entertainment more widely. So we made our own rules. We made the content for the space. What we found was many brands were coming in to create immersive experiences using their existing brand content, brand assets. That didn't work. You need to make the content for your canvas, whether you're a digital experience or a physical experience. Make it original, make it for your space. Make it for the phone, by which I mean two things. You make content, of course, for the phone, AR, overlays, gamified experiences, but really crucially, make sure that the content you are producing is shareable. The first thing people do when they walk into an immersive experience is take their phone out and start filming, and then get it on social media and start sharing it. We found that the more shareable, the more beautiful the content, the more popular it was. Make it for your surroundings. We found that we had people coming through in the morning on the way to work, very stressed, coming home from work, probably drunk. And then during the day, we had lots of tourists. So we created content for different day parts that was relevant to those people coming through. And then obviously that allowed us to then sell that advertising time either side of that content for them. Interactivity, particularly with the tech side, as I said earlier, the technology had not caught up. It now has. The interactivity piece is still like magic for people. They come in, they do a thing with the screen content, it's total magic. We actually created a piece of content last year for the Euros, for the football tournament, which we reskinned about 3 or 4 times during last year for different occasions. It's a really simple thing. This is Pong, the original game. We like the irony of taking the original technology from many, many years ago and updating it for the modern world. This is just Pong, but with your hands. This was the most interacted with piece of content in 2023. We had over 300,000 interactions in its first year. It's so simple, people love it. I'm here all day, so I can show you these videos more later. Make it simple. For some totally unknown reason, the developer, the landlord, decided it would be a good idea to have the 2 of the walls of the big gold box, the main space, retract, open and close during the day. These are screens. So these screens on this side and screens on the outside. That Estrella Dam advert I showed you before is on the outside of the building. He could never explain why it was a good idea to remove the out-of-home advertising screen, which was the thing that was making lots of money. This cost many millions of pounds, this piece of technology. It has never been used. And so one of the things that we discovered was, if you can't explain why you're doing it, don't do it. Make it for the audience, and again, I have a quick film to show you. We found the most important part of all of this was to make sure that the content you are producing is as relevant for a small child as it is for their grandparents and everyone in between.
It really makes you feel like you're a part of this celebration. We came here for the coronation.
Oh, really?
And this makes us feel like we're really, I'm gonna cry because I so it just makes us feel like we're part of such a bigger picture.
And so really it's come full circle. We, thank you. I didn't, it's not all me. We set up Colour Theory at the end of last year. My partner and I, he was the creative director at Alternet, I was the operations and event director. And we've taken those learnings, those lessons, and we've applied it to our work now with property developers, with commercial property developers, who are working on new developments, are working on retrofitting and upgrading old developments, and also with institutions. We work with museums and galleries and universities to help them navigate this new immersive world, this world of digital experiences, as we call it. And so, yeah, it's a really exciting time. I'm loving being here. It's very exciting to be here. So looking forward to the rest of the day. For me, it comes down to one key lesson. Crash the boat on the rocks, fix it fast, and take those lessons and apply them for the rest of your journey, the rest of your voyage. Thank you very much.